Peace. This is Waz for Waz Words Media back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, this past Saturday, ESPN had a card that simply put was revenge or repeat, as there were two big rematches that took place. One being the 135-pound rematch between Cuba's Ramirez versus Mexico's Rafael Espinosa. And then in the main event, there was two of Mexico's high-powered offensive fighters, which is Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez Part 2. So, were we going to get a revenge from both of these fighters, meaning Ramirez and Valdez gaining their revenge, winning these second fights? Or were we going to get a repeat, which was going to be Rafael Espinosa, who pulled off the biggest upset of the year when he beat Ramirez for the title. And then Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez was a pretty even 50-50 kind of fight, and Navarrete won. So what we ended up getting on Saturday was a repeat of both outcomes of the first fights. First, in the Ramirez versus Ramirez fight. What happened with that one? Espinosa is a very tall fighter. He's gonna give a lot of people problems in that lightweight division. He's tall, very tall. He's 6'1". Very tall for that division. But as I tell y'all all the time, I often say it on this page, fighters should fight their height. And he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it enough. He doesn't fight his height enough. He comes down a lot. And he was coming down to mix it in with Robeisy. But, Robeisy ended up, it was a bizarre stoppage because Robeisy caught a right hand to the eye. And at that point, he was waving it off. So, yeah, at that point he was waving it off. Everybody was confused, but yeah, they threw in the towel. It wasn't, they weren't allowed to continue. And Robeisy simply said that he couldn't see. He had double vision, and it cost him the fight. He couldn't see anymore. He simply couldn't go. So there was a TKO in the 5th round, and Espinosa remains champion. Robeisy got some backlash from the commentating, from the commentators, and some people are saying he quit, no mas and all that. Yo, man, y'all can say whatever you want, but you're not that man. You're not feeling what he's feeling at that moment. Your eye is fine. You're watching the TV quite fine. He's not. And then one of these people had the audacity to say that Mickey Ward, I think it was Joe Tessitore, said that Mickey Ward to this day still sees double vision. Why would Ramirez want to put himself in that position? I understand this is a sport to entertain us, but we've seen what people in the past are living with today, So yeah, you want to protect yourself. Hey, it happens. It sucks for our entertainment purposes, but if he couldn't continue, he couldn't continue. So Espinosa remains champion, takes both fights. And then in the main event, you had Emmanuel Navarrete, who pretty much dismantled Oscar Valdez in the first fight. Even though it went the distance, he took a pummeling. Oscar Valdez took a pummeling in that first fight. And in this second fight, Emmanuel Navarrete, he's coming off a couple bad performances. He lost to Baranchyk, and he I believe Barancyk's the fighter from the Ukraine. He beat Emmanuel Navarrete very convincingly. And then Navarrete also in the fight after that is coming off a draw. So he's coming off a loss and a draw. So probably Team Valdez was like, yo, this is the time. Maybe he's slipping. This is the time for us to get our revenge. So they enacted the rematch, and you saw in the ring that Navarrete was big. Like he He was flabby. He was big. He was big. He looked like he had trouble making the weight. So a big problem that Oscar Valdez was doing was leaning forward too much. In boxing, the proper boxing stance, you wanna hunch your back. You wanna hunch your back, bend your knees. But instead of hunching his back, he was bending his back. And what he was doing, bending his back, Navarrete all day. Uppercut. That uppercut, he was eating uppercuts all day. Also, Oscar Valdez, when you see somebody that's like flabby and they don't look, that means poor conditioning. So what you're supposed to do, use one of the Floyd Mayweather's patented punches. One of the Floyd Mayweather's punches that he's known for is the jab to the stomach. Psst, psst, psst. Jab that stomach. What you do when you jab in the stomach, you're taking air out. You're gassing them out. It's like chopping a tree. You chopping a tree. Just jab to the stomach, jab to the stomach. That's gonna gas them out. That's them body shots. Instead, he's trying to go for the Mexican body shot, which is, the hook to the liver. He's trying to hook to the liver. Dude, take what's there. Navarrete is like this, leaving all of this exposed. Jab the stomach, like Mayweather used to do. And then what ends up happening is, once you go to that stomach enough, and he starts to gas out, because every time you hit that stomach, it's like, once they start feeling gassed out, they're going to start dropping those elbows to protect the jab to the stomach. As they drop the elbows, look what's exposed now. Poor game planning, They should have went to the stomach, jab the stomach, get them to drop the elbows. Now you can mix up the head and body attack. But it was too much head hunting or too much trying to go for the liver. And every time he kept bending down, Navarrete has a very awkward style of fighting to begin with. Like, he'll feint hard and wait for your reaction, and then he'll throw the punch where your body is shifted to. So boom. So he'll feint, catch himself, see Valdez bend down, and then pop Valdez with an uppercut. And Valdez was eating the uppercuts all night. And then at the end of the night, caught him with that liver shot. Bow! Valdez went out for the count. It was over. So Navarrete wins by knockout with a vicious, beautiful body shot to the liver. And yeah, it was a night of repeats for both Espinosa and Navarrete as they both go into these rematches and they handle business the way they did in the first one. So good night of boxing. 2024 has been very dry in boxing. So it was a good way to, I guess, kind of end the year, because it's only a couple fight nights left. So it was a good one for the last month of the year. But we're about to start off the year very explosive. Tune in for my next video as I give you the details. I'm Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.